r/ask Reddit. What's a harmless prank to play on your friends? I just put in a dozen reminders on Alexa at my brother's house that will come up the next 6 months, usually during dinner or breakfast, when they should all be around. Remind me in 2 months at 7 PM that Tyler's But Smells remind me on October 7th at 7:15 AM. That uncle is awesome and smells like rainbows and unicorn farts. He has a bunch of kids, so I think they will laugh well. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the awards. I'm a general prankster. My buddy asks me to watch his house while traveling just to see what I'll do. Last time I ordered 250 small bouncy balls, put them in a box at the top of the stairs, and tied a string to the doorknob carefully to the door at the bottom. The light was off, and I guess it sounded like a river. I also used clear nail polish on their soap, so it wouldn't lather. And I bought 4 Apple use only stickers to apply to various items. I figured the Reddit community would like more ideas. My dad is a huge swimmer, and we had a backyard pool when I was growing up, but my dad absolutely hated cold water. He always had the pool heated to around 80 to 90 Fahrenheit. The electricity bill in the winter was insane, and he got mad if anyone messed with the pool heater. One year, he had a business trip to Europe and consequently got home really late the night of March 31st. My mom came up with the idea to buy a bunch of ice and then dump it in the pool after my dad went to bed. A bunch of our neighbors caught wind of this and offered to help, which my mom gladly agreed to, and they all brought a bunch of ice too. We left the pool thermometer out on the patio so it wouldn't register the cold water, and then we proceeded what must have been over 100 bags of ice into the pool after turning off the heater, of course. The next morning, when my dad went for a swim, we got woken to the joyous noises of a string of beautifully put together strands of swear words. Ah, the memories. Although he really upped his April Fool's game up big time after that. A friend of mine sent unmarked postcards featuring different chimpanzees to me about once a week for more than a year. They all had the same message: having a great time, wish you were here, love, me. They all misspelled my name in different ways. They came from all over the world. She'd coordinated with a bunch of people she knew internationally. It got to the point where I saw my letter carrier and he'd shake his head and ask, "Another one?" I never figured out who was sending them until she fessed up. I know this is a Bare Naked Ladies song. I believe that was the inspiration. When I was a kid, I would put tape upside down on people's chairs and laugh when they sat on it. Eventually, they caught on that I was sticking tape to them and would check for it when I started laughing at them. Then I stopped putting the tape there, but kept laughing like I did. They'd look for it and couldn't find it. Shorter, more recent one that was well received was writing a bunch of dated fake diary entries and hiding them places I knew they could find them. They thought the entries were the prank, but there was one I didn't write, just skipped that date. They couldn't find it. Edit. Yes, this is the same concept of the classic loose numbered pigs joke. The amount of replies I got bringing it up makes me wonder if I'm being pranked. Back in college I went to Vegas. While I was there I collected hundreds of those cards they hand out on the strip for call girls/escorts. When I got home I put these cards everywhere in my roommate's car. I put most of them on the seats and the floors, but I also hid them in the trunk, under the floor mats, under the seats, in the glove box, in the gas lid, basically every nook I could think of. He thought the initial cleaning up of the ones on the seats and floors was the end of it. Nope. He was finding these cards for years, and every time he did he'd send me a picture of it. It was great. If you're in a position to do it, make them a celebrity for a day. When I was a grad student we did this to one of our professors. About a dozen of us coordinated to offer our students in freshman composition extra credit if they went up to one of our professors and pretended he was a celebrity and asked for his autograph, get a picture taken with him, etc. We made sure to give them all his schedule for the day, let him know where his office was, and just let them loose. He got stopped dozens of times to sign autographs and take pictures. It irritated the hell out of him, but he appreciated the joke. Pal of mine had a socially awkward male cousin working at a superstore. He never fit in, was picked on by staff, and I saw it. When we visited one day, I couldn't take it. I worked at a car dealership. Told my buddy bring his cousin over before he goes to work. When he did, I told them I arranged for a test drive of Murcielago, but his cousin would pull up to work driving it, and I'd turn up as the mechanic come to collect the it. He was skeptical at first, but we convinced him. We stayed a distance off as he pulled in, and parked gunning it to an 06's arrival, got out and walked in. Careful to not step on the jaws on the floor. It was even more priceless when I arrived in another Lambo as his courtesy car. To his great surprise and even more shocked onlookers, he drove it out after his shift. We picked him up around the corner. He said it was the best day of his life. I said, great, cause we need a clerk for the dealership. Come apply. You gonna walk off that job in style next week. I wonder if it felt as good for him as it did for us. I put a browser extension on my coworker's computer that gave it a 1% chance of loading a John Cena video every time he loaded a website. It would happen once or twice a day. It drove him nuts. On his last day, I walked into his office playing John Cena's walk-up music, which he immediately turned off. When I explained it to him, his only reaction was, "I'm so impressed." Hire a local actor to run into you and your friend while you are somewhere and recognize you as someone famous. Have them start speaking gibberish and you answer back in gibberish before taking a selfie with them. Then have them just leave extremely excited. When your friend asks what that was all about, just say something in gibberish, and when they say what, just say "oh sorry" and say it was nothing, and keep the charade going until your dying day. Grab a couple photos from around their house and snap a good well-centered picture with your phone. Then Photoshop something fun into the background, such as a dinosaur, Bigfoot, Elvis, or even just add yourself to a bunch of their photos. Reprint the new version of the picture in the same dimensions. Next time you're around, slip it into the frame over top the original. So long as you don't damage the original, it can be a fun game of see how long until they notice. Edit. Fixed a typo. In Sweden, I was waiting for my turn at the counter at the pharmacy. You take a ticket, and it has a number on it, and that's your turn. When it shows up on a board over the counter, they let you know when the number on the board goes up by playing a tune. In this case, it sounded like doo-doo. So I was waiting, and heard the doo-doo sound. Looked at the board. No change. Counter people had no reaction. Other people in line looked up and were also confused. About a minute later, the sound went off again. People were confused. I thought it sounded off. Twice more I figured out it was the old man next to me playing off the sound on his phone. I gave him a pat on the shoulder, but didn't say anything. So much fun.